이 영화가 연애 영화가 될 수 있을까? 그럼 뭐가 필요할까? 달달한 고백, 로맨틱한 키스?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Korean romantic comedy movies.
좀 그쪽 마음에 드니까 특히 요 느낌.
For this list, we'll be looking at rom-com classics from South Korea with the biggest laughs and the fullest hearts. These movies went beyond the usual fluff with smart themes, compelling drama, and of course, absolute hilarity. What's your favorite romantic K-comedy? Open up your heart in the comments. Number 20, Too Beautiful to Lie. An ex-con artist has just missed her train to help a pharmacist retrieve a stolen ring he planned to propose with. She must now use her skills to crash with this stranger's family as his fake fiancé, inevitably causing trouble and finding the love she never believed in.
그냥 현기 채우는 거였어. 가족본 혼비? 피하게 광박이네.
Too Beautiful to Lie sounds like a typical Meet the Family farce with a criminal twist, but it delivers uniquely elaborate twists and a clever perspective on how society inherently trusts attractive people.
거짓말 무시하네?
적어도 이제 그쪽 거짓말은 안 통해. 보통 사람들은 거짓말할 때 표가 나는데 그쪽은 진짜를 말할 때 표가 나. 얼굴이 빨개지거든.
해볼래?
Our anti-hero turns out to have some comedic and emotional layers. Played by Kim Han-yul, in Baksan award-winning form, Too Beautiful to Lie still has a delightful absurdity and warmth to spare, but with deceptively deeper ideas.
희철 씨가 좋아졌어.
이상하다. 얼굴 빨개졌는데.
Number 19, Nothing Serious. What happens when a lonely romance columnist and a career woman become friends with benefits over a dating app? Well, you can probably guess.
그럼 뭐 사랑을 해야 되나? 매우 그렇다. 그렇다, 약간 그렇다. 제법 잘 어울린다.
Sure, Nothing Serious essentially lives up to its name. At least it spices up its zany humor with themes that are typically scandalous for a K-comedy.
얘들아, 너네 교양 좀 갖추면 안 되겠니? 우리 신랑 이 얘기 들으면 진짜 깜놀한다, 깜놀.
On top of a tasteful use of this edge, the distinctly millennial love story is less about the cheap rom-com standards for love than about two cynics scrutinizing them for something deeper. With help from rising superstar Jung Jung-sao's promotion on TikTok, Nothing Serious became a commercial hit with young audiences. With a Baksan Award for Best Screenplay, it was an all-around critical hit across generations.
설령 우리가 헤어지더라도 나쁘지 않은 이야기였으면 좋겠다. 이건 우리만의 특별한 로맨스니까.
Number 18, Salud Amor. Veteran actor Park Yoon-hyung plays the quintessential grump who refuses to sell to land developers. His fight will require the help of friends, family, and the special friend who just moved next door.
옛날로 아주 어릴 적으로 돌아간 것처럼 예쁨 받는 것 같아서 너무 좋아요.
Salud Amor is an ideal blend of community crowd pleaser and senior romance. Both angles are formulaic, but uplifting for their poignant sense of the characters. Never mind the sweet sense of humor in trying to find love late in life.
만나시면은 무조건 예쁘다고 하세요. 여자는 예쁘다면 끝이야.
내가 왜 그런 말을 해야 돼? 밥도 사는데 예쁩니다.
This is just the most prominent of the many funny and moving relationships that make up a tight-knit community in peril. As wholesome as it is heartfelt, Salud Amor is a winning romantic dramedy for more mature audiences of any age.
임금님, 절대로 안 잊어버릴게요.
나도요. 별성의 77.
Number 17, On Your Wedding Day. A wedding tends to be the perfect close for a romantic comedy. That's not the case for Woo Yeon, who reflects on hilarity and heartbreak with his high school sweetheart when he's invited to her wedding.
아니 뭐 내가 직접 얘기하는 게 예의인 것 같아서 어차피 공자 통해서 들을 건데 전화로 하는 것도 좀 그렇고 그래서.
그래, 네 나이 때면 뭐 이제 갈 때 됐지.
On Your Wedding Day gives audiences fair warning that its love story will not have a happy Hollywood ending. It's too mature for that in how it depicts the maturing of first love, not so much in the hijinks and sentiments in that process.
물 마시고 얘기해. 소주만 나 이거.
This wide range of emotions captivated viewers and showed off the range in the lead actor's acclaimed performances. On Your Wedding Day may not always be easy on the heart, but it's sure to have a special place there.
황우연, 고마웠어. 많이 많이.
Number 16, Scandal Makers. Rom-com darling Cha Tae-hyun plays a former teen idol turned radio personality, turned grandfather. When he meets the daughter and grandson he never knew he had, it's time to finally grow up.
잠깐만, 앉아봐. 오지마. 야, 잠깐 스톱. 앉아봐.
A love interest in the boy's kindergarten teacher is important in this process. Of course, the real love story in Scandal Makers is between an immature star and the family that brings him down to earth.
뭐가 웃겨? 어이, 저거 웃겨?
가족 같은 기억. 우리
그냥 괜찮은데.
봐, 괜찮다잖아.
괜찮다고 쳐요.
치는 게 아니고.
Everything else, including the romance, is a part of his personal journey. The movie's own adorable, heartwarming story was a huge hit at the box office, and an unexpected critical success. It even inspired a few international remakes, but the public still can't get enough of the original Scandal Makers. Number 15, My Wife is a Gangster. Romantic comedies and gangster movies have had a storied marriage, but of course, men have traditionally been expected to lead the action.
은지 씨, 저기 먹을 게 생수.
7, 30,
생수하고 라면밖에 없네.
8, 30. 내 건 해물라면.
Megastar Shin Yun-kyung shifted that dynamic as a mob boss who fulfills her sister's dying wish that she get married. Just when she thinks she's out, rival gangsters pull her and her husband back in.
놈이 비겁한 줄은 알았지만 그 정도까지 양아친 줄은 몰랐다.
It's a tricky mix of genres, but from heartwarming romance to darkly comic crime thrills, My Wife is a Gangster has it all. The movie was such a ready-made hit that it inspired 2 sequels. For all of its ups and downs, My Wife is a Gangster remains a cult classic to match romance and action fans.
깎는 건 하나 예술이다.
칭찬받는 건 난생 처음이다.
그래?
Number 14, Sweet and Sour. An engineer may have hit a fork in his future when he lands a job in Seoul while his nurse girlfriend stays in Incheon. A couple's efforts to stay together through hard work and distance is treated like a lively farce, with a bitter aftertaste.
그러긴 하겠는데 간만에 쉬러 온 사람한테 쓰레기 얘기부터 하는 거 좀 아닌 거 아니야?
지금 나 보러 온 게 아니라 여기 쉬러 왔어? 여기가 무슨 여관인 줄 알아?
True to its title, the Netflix original Sweet and Sour is a flavorful balance between quirky K-comedy and a more mature love story. Some critics felt that the movie could have been more savory in its drama.
울지 말자, 우리 예쁜 보영이.
보영이가 누구야?
Still, the themes of work fatigue and long-distance relationships really struck a chord with audiences at the height of COVID. Even afterward, Sweet and Sour remains a treat for fans of rom-coms with a kick. Number 13, 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant. After damaging a wealthy playboy's car in a heartbroken tantrum, a poor student has to become his servant for 100 days to cover the repairs.
알았어. 사인하면 되잖아요.
뭐 정 억울하면 지금 300 주던가. 응?
This premise was part of an early 2000s trend of K-comedies inspired by popular fiction on the internet. 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant was clearly not out to rewrite the rom-com playbook or blog post, but it nails that formula with unique hilarity and heart to win over its audience.
뽀뽀는 해봤어?
당연하죠. 뽀뽀도 안 해본 애 있나 뭐?
Ha Ji-won and Kim Chae-won's interclass courtship became an instant cult sensation while helping to cement the actors as strong romantic leads. Though Mr. Arrogant airs on the humble side of its genre, it manages to be a fan favorite.
이게 뭐예요?
Number 12. Whatcha Wearin'. Pop idol Kim Ah-jung shows off a more seductive vocal range in Whatcha Wearin'. When Yoon Chung attempts to revitalize her relationship with phone sex, a wrong number leads to her possibly meeting her Mr. Right.
영혼이 통한다는 느낌 알아요? 진짜 특별했어요.
아마 대부분의 연인들이 다 한 번쯤은 그렇게 생각했을 거예요.
Needless to say, this movie has a bit more mature content than the average K-comedy. That doesn't just mean that the humor is as raunchy as it is funny.
아니야. 확실히 네가 더 커.
The silly story of coincidence truly earns its heart on intimate conversation in every sense of the term. Kim and Ji Sung's chemistry make the humor and heart all the more grown up. Even with an edgier rating, Whatcha Wearin' really spoke to general audiences as an unlikely box office and critical winner. Number 11. My Tutor Friend. Kim Han-yeol may have broken out through a comedy, but she didn't completely break out of drama. My Tutor Friend follows a college student who helps her struggling family by tutoring an educationally challenged high schooler of rich stock.
아무리 나이가 같더라도 난 선생이고 넌 제자야. 이게 어디서 똑바로 해, 알았어?
As an unlikely friendship blooms into something more, the movie tackles some complex themes of education and class. Of course, it always does so with a lot of laughs.
나도 내가 시작한 일 내가 먼저 관둔 적 없어.
좀 즐기다.
누가 더 즐긴가 보자고.
The refreshingly grounded rom-com was inspired by a true story, and was such a hit that it inspired a standalone sequel. It's safe to say that for a classic romance that teaches the audience a lesson, My Tutor Friend is worth the investment.
이번 주 일요일 날 뭐해?
남이야?
Number 10. The Beauty Inside. Hollywood's innovatively interactive web series hit the big screen in South Korea. A star-studded cast plays Yi-soo, a furniture designer who changes bodies every time he wakes up.
못생긴 것보단 잘생긴 게 낫고.
Not today.
나이가 많은 것보단 어린 게 낫고. 기왕이면 키 크고 멋있는.
No matter the age or gender of his host, he can always count on his crush to be his true north. Along the way, Yi-soo gains a perspective on the human experience that was overlooked for gimmick in the original The Beauty Inside.
난 이 아내 김우진을 사랑하는 거니까.
What this remake lacks in interactivity is made up for in comedic and emotional connection with the audience. 2015's The Beauty Inside became its own hit, inspiring a popular show on TV instead of Facebook. No matter how much this story changes, the heart remains the same.
Will you come in tomorrow?
Yeah. What? Sometimes I wish the night was a little bit longer.
Number 9. I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay. Park Chan-woo made his name on some of the most influential and idiosyncratic dramas in Korean cinema. He couldn't just make your typically quirky rom-com. It had to be the love story of a girl who thinks she's a cyborg and a boy with schizophrenia.
발 벌리고 엎드려서 발을 마주 비비는 거야. 이게 정전기적 긴장을 만들어내서 몸을 부양시켜주거든.
Meanwhile, other patients at the psychiatric hospital try to get by with their delusions, and an overwhelmed staff. Park's farce is obviously divisive in its cluttered story and darkly bizarre humor, but his bold filmmaking confronts audiences with the humanity of the oddest among us.
귀여운 목소리로 요레이삐 요레이삐 하니 요레요 하니 요레요 하니 요레요.
It helps that the central romance is strangely so heartwarming. I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay may not be the most commercial of rom-coms, but with its unique engineering and humane directive, that's okay.
꼭 새로 태어난 것 같아요.
Number 8. Penny Pinchers. Just when it seems that Chi Wong's mooching days are done, his obsessively frugal neighbor is in need of a partner for her savings account. The two must now team up to teach each other how to scrimp and scheme until they discover something more valuable than money.
세상에 공짜는 없다. 1,000원?
어쭈 2,000원 주면 뽀뽀해줄게.
얼씨구 3,000원 주면 내가.
Clearly, Penny Pinchers breaks the South Korean consumerist image with the glossiest of movie genres. It spares no expense in showing the riotous chaos of how to financially get by in modern society.
저 학생 있잖아, 그 3개 들어있는 거거든? 그 2개에 1,500원 해주면 안 될까? 아니다. 학생이 50원만 내주면 내가 그거 하나 줄게.
Still, its economical rom-com beats endear you to the lovably sleazy leads. On top of breaking out Song Joong-ki as a bankable leading man, Penny Pinchers is a wealth of thrifty but extravagant fun.
너는 돈 많은 여자가 좋냐 아니면 돈 없는 여자가 좋냐?
난 무조건 예쁜 여자.
Number 7. Windstruck. The director and the star of My Sassy Girl really struck again with Windstruck, going beyond the market of a strict romantic comedy.
여승이 오늘 비번이잖아.
본체리 범인 잡는데 어디 때 가려가면서 잡나요?
Chun Chi-hyun juggles action-packed police work and a heartwarming love story with Chung Hyuk as a heroic school teacher. With tragedy kicking off in the second half, both storylines have to be resolved with a supernatural twist.
누가 내 소원을 들어줬나 봐.
The movie is clearly ambitious in its genre bending, despite the obvious parallels with the Hollywood classic Ghost. But with that same level of fantastical passion comes a lot more charming humor and thrills. There are also some nods to My Sassy Girl to further lift viewers' spirits. Of course, Windstruck stands on its own as an enchanting emotional ride for romance fans.
나 보고 싶을 땐 언제든지 찾아와. 바람이라도 좋아. 바람이라도 좋아.
Number 6. Love 911. A firefighter's personal life starts to heat up when he's asked by a cold-blooded doctor to testify on her behalf in a malpractice suit.
아니, 그쪽 주로 하는 일이 사람들 돕는 거잖아요. 제가 지금 그쪽 도움이 절실히 필요하거든요.
With the character witness still grieving the death of his wife, he finds a chance at redemption and love in getting the defendant to truly appreciate her work. Love 911's romance between two broken people is handled with refreshing warmth.
겁나지? 저딴 여자한테 끌리는 거.
This drew a Paksang nomination for actress Han Hyo-chu and a strong reception for the movie. With humor, heart, and action, Love 911 just has it all. Tourists should just keep in mind that, contrary to the movie's English title, South Korea's fire and rescue line is 119. Number 5. Spellbound. Street magician Jo-gu becomes a headliner with a spooky act featuring Yo-ri. What's the trick? Yo-ri can actually see ghosts, and one spirit that's particularly close to her is out for revenge.
그러다 오면 어쩌려고요?
에이, 뭐 설마.
진짠데.
Rom-com screenwriter Hwang In-ho's bold directing debut promises to be a lively supernatural romp. Sure enough, its comedy and horror are a real scream, but the movie's subtext about trauma and lifting lonely souls is a surprisingly poignant anchor for the romance.
내가 이 정도인데 당신은 어떻겠냐고. 당신이 혼자 있을 걸 생각하니까 그냥 차라리 등에 귀신이 엎이는 게 나아.
This range earned the versatile Son Ye-jin one of her many Paksang nominations for Best Actress. It also makes Spellbound spellbinding for rom-com, horror, and drama fans with a 2023 remake in the Philippines.
Alam mo, Yuri, pareho kayo. Huwag kang matakot.
Number 4. Castaway on the Moon. After Kim Sun-geun's troubles drive him into the Han River, he finally finds freedom from civilization on a remote island. It turns out to not be too remote when he begins communicating with a reclusive shutterbug from afar.
헬프가 헬로우가 되었습니다.
At least she's better company than a volleyball. Castaway on the Moon still delivers great humor in its divisive premise. More importantly, it delivers an expressive adventure into the power of connection to make the outside world worth the grind.
60억 지구인들을 대표해
외계 생명체의 메시지에 리플을 달아주기로 합니다.
This dramedy's audacious concept and style didn't attract a significant audience. It did, however, win massive acclaim and major awards. In bringing high art to high rom-com entertainment, Castaway on the Moon has become a beloved cult classic. Number 3, My Little Bride. At only 15 years old, Bo-yoon is forced to marry a college man because of a pact between their grandfathers. Her efforts to continue being a normal high schooler with an age-appropriate romance hits a wall when her husband becomes her new art teacher.
너희들 교생쌤한테 장난치면 알지?
Needless to say, the concept of the Hong Kong comedy My Wife is 18 is even weirder when it's revised for a younger demographic. Despite the obvious controversy, My Little Bride won over a huge audience with its irreverent humor and gutsy character development.
칼을 받아라.
아주 얍삽한 거 노리고 노려라. 왜 그러냐? 그거 어떻게 하게? 야.
Even the critics gave high praise and prizes to the breakout stars. Since then, My Little Bride has gone the distance as one of the most popular rom-coms in South Korea.
오빠 되게 잘생겼어.
나도 예뻐.
Number 2, 200 Pounds Beauty. Singer and model Kim Ah-cheong made a bold film debut under a lot of prosthetics. The golden-voiced Hannah Kang achieves her wildest dreams after undergoing plastic surgery to become gorgeous pop idol Jennie.
윤민, 난 좋다. 이미지 메이킹이 좋고. 안 그래, 상준아?
진짜 수술한 데가 한 군데도 없어요?
그렇죠. 그럼요.
While trying to conceal the truth about her ideal image, Hannah finds her true voice through an old friend. 200 Pounds Beauty presents itself as a vocal criticism of South Korea's pop and plastic surgery culture.
술한 티 너무 안 나는 거 아니에요?
흠이라면 그게 흠이다. 너무 자연스러운 거.
It ironically does so with glamour and broad comedy to amass a major commercial following. But with its uplifting themes and Kim's breakout performance, the movie was also a hit on the awards circuit. As clever as it is catchy, 200 Pounds Beauty hits all the right notes for a rom-com classic. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Hot Young Bloods. All generations identified with teen culture in the last days of school uniforms.
처음 널 본 순간부터 눈을 뗄래야 뗄 수가 없구만. 나밖에 없어.
어지럽구만.
Seducing Mr. Perfect. A corporate broker changes his outlook with help from his new assistant.
아니 갑자기 그렇게 급정거를 하면 어떡해요? 모자랄 때고 실실 웃어?
Love and Leashes. Audiences submitted to this kinky yet heartwarming romance.
마지막 플레이니까 아쉬움 없이 다 해.
Mood of the day. A sports manager and an ad agent do romantic business while lost in Busan.
이거 혹시 작업이에요?
왜요? 그럼 안 돼요?
A year-end medley. A star-studded ensemble of moving love stories ring in the new year.
이제 나를 보여줄 거야. 숨겨왔던 진짜 내 모습.
미안해요. 다 끝난 줄 알고.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, My Sassy Girl.
뽀뽀?
아이,
나 죽을래?
네가 정해.
때리기로 하자.
또 때리기야?
It doesn't sound like there's much romance in the epic story of an engineering student falling in love with an unnamed girl over cruel games. Certainly, there is a lot of hilarious silliness to spare, but My Sassy Girl's genre-defying sense of its characters and the messiness of relationships was almost unheard of for a commercial K-comedy.
이 여자가 혹시 꽃뱀 같은 게 아닐까 생각했습니다. 지하철에서 술 취한 척 오바이트하고 나서 얼떨결에 도와준 남자 뺏겨먹는 게 직업인.
내가 자기야 그랬단 말이지.
The movie was met with massive international acclaim and box office success. This success didn't just inspire a sequel, TV shows, and remakes around the world. It is widely considered a watershed moment for Korean movies as a global phenomenon. The movie's impact on the industry and pop culture is almost indescribable. But in the pantheon of k-romcoms, My Sassy Girl is still irresistible.
너무 우연이라고요? 우연이란 노력한 사람에게 운명이 놓아주는 달이랍니다.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.